Keir Starmer has been warned by his own MPs and party grandees that Labour risks losing the next election unless he does more to tackle illegal migration. The Prime Minister was urged by his own side to take more radical action, including suspending human rights protections and copying Denmark's hardline zero refugee approach amid growing public concern over his government's handling of the crisis. As he travelled to Europe for a holiday with his family, a YouGov poll found that 71% of voters, including 56% of Labour supporters, believe he is dealing with the issue of asylum hotels badly. Almost 4 in 10, 37%, said immigration and asylum is the most important issue facing the country, but fewer than 1 in 10, 9%, said Labour was the best party to tackle it. Even 16% of those who voted for Sir Keir's party at the last election thought Reform UK would do a better job at securing the borders. It comes after a record 111,084 asylum claims were lodged in Labour's first year in power, despite the Prime Minister's vow to smash the gangs. Official figures also revealed last week that the number of asylum seekers being housed in hotels across the country has risen by 8% in the past year, while councils across the country are now trying to end the practice in the wake of a landmark court case. Ministers have so far focused on introducing counter-terror powers to take on people smugglers as well as increasing migrant returns, including through a new one-out deal with France. But former Home Secretary Lord Blunkett called on the government to go further by temporarily suspending the European Convention on Human Rights and introducing a digital ID card scheme. He told The Times, which carried out the polling, the issue is so toxic and beginning to get out of the government's grip to the point it is very hard to bring it back. A further package of actions is absolutely vital to start controlling both the public narrative and the delivery. Labour MP Joe White told BBC Radio 4's Today programme, "I firmly believe that if we don't sort it, then Labour are under threat at the next general election. So I want this government to look at every solution possible." She called on ministers to look at tough measures introduced by Denmark to reduce the number of asylum applications to zero, including denying would-be refugees benefits, restricting family reunion rights and the so-called ghetto law that allows apartment blocks to be demolished in areas where more than half of residents are non-Western immigrants. Labour backbencher Graham Stringer told Times Radio, "We should look at what's worked in a perfectly sensible democratic country like Denmark. We should also suspend or get out of the European Convention on Human Rights. I don't think it's one or the other. We could do both." And he warned, this is potentially an electoral issue for the Labour Party. "If we don't find an effective way of dealing with this, people just feel it's completely unfair, we will pay a heavy price, both in local elections and the next general election." It came as dozens of migrants were seen wading neck-deep in the sea off Calais to board a dinghy to Britain. In shocking images, children were seen crying as they were pushed through the water with their heads barely above the surface. The Home Office said 212 migrants arrived in 4 boats on Sunday.